sorry both of yours are in the morning.
That's right.
So everybody that's here, part of the we have to do it this way. We would normally not have, Andy would go in the morning and then the afternoon, but because we have to put all the repertoire in blocks, it ends up where things are a little different. So, again, more COVID stuff. All right, first movement?
Yeah, first movement.
Perfect. Can we tune Julian real quick? Good following there, Connor. Hey, that was really nice. What do you think?
Felt good in a lot of it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit some fundamental things
Sure.
first, and then we'll do musical stuff.
Sure.
You have great eye contact with the players,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not what I would call meaningful eye
Sure.
contact, where you're not accepting like their presence
Okay.
into you. You're just sort of looking through them peripherally.
Okay.
And I think it's because your brain is probably going 100 miles an
It
hour,
is.
thinking about like what's happening. So that's totally normal,
Yeah.
right? So just be aware of it.
Okay.
That if you look at Connor or you look at Wyatt, that you are really trying to accept them into what you're doing. The way I used to practice that, this is going to be super silly, but I tell my TAs to do this, is like go to your room. Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Find all of their little stuffed animals.
Okay.
Go to your room, close the door so no one thinks you're crazy. Set them up like on a couch or a bed or something like that, and conduct this piece like you're oboe 2, you're oboe 1, you're clarinet. And honestly, try to get them to play back at you.
Okay.
That way you are working with inanimate objects, so then when they have beating hearts, it's actually a lot easier.
Sure.
That's the way I found to fix and get more meaningful eye contact. That way you're accepting them in, which is good. Second thing, your hands. Both your hands are moving all the time. If you want to develop really great left-hand independence, see if you can get them saying something different.
Okay.
And we talked about this a little bit yesterday with our folks, but I have a spectrum, and you're either monitoring or you're influencing. And you are somewhere on the spectrum, and you get to decide where you are, but your left hand and your right hand are all doing something. Sometimes your right hand is influencing, your left hand's monitoring, or vice versa. You see what I'm saying? Right now, both of your hands are influencing all the time.
Sure.
So they're very active. And we don't know which one to pay more attention to. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's try both those things. Good eye contact, meaningful eye contact, and then see if you can monitor influence with different hands.
Sure.
Good. So we get, what level do you teach?
Middle school.
Band?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
See if you can show me another gesture for the second bar. Good. So here, I'm going to just dive right into this spot, okay? So the clarinets are moving, they're sustaining, you get some fun stuff there.
Yep.
Get your right hand to them, let your left hand monitor that. Do-da, Da, dee, da. So the right hand is active over here with them influencing, and then this hand is monitoring this way.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So that way you can literally give jobs to each of your appendages
Yep.
instead of them saying the same thing.
Okay.
Another physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
How tall are you?
5'10",
5'10"?
maybe.
Okay, because I'm 6'1", and I feel
Okay.
like I'm considerably taller than you right now.
Okay.
And some of that is just posture.
Okay.
And so if you would, I'm going to take your clavicle bone
Mm-hmm.
goes from, do you mind if I touch you?
That's fine.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
okay?
fine. Yeah,
All right. So your clavicle bone goes from here to here.
Uh-huh.
The way you conduct, if you pull your shoulder down, your clavicle bone
Sure.
is going to be small. What we want to think about is making the clavicle bone as long as possible.
Mhm.
So if you feel that and you take your arm in like this,
Right.
your clavicle bone, which can't get shorter, it's a bone, but it feels shorter. We want to expand the clavicle out as far as we can. So if I look at you from over here, my clavicles are short, my clavicles are extended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you lift your arms into play, try to get your clavicle expanded. That'll
Sure.
keep your shoulders in a really nice position.
Mhm.
Okay. Then we want to think of this down here as being like a bowl of water, and our torso just sort of is floating in that bowl of water. Okay, those are two things. Okay, here's the beginning. Yeah, and then as soon as you started, your head went down and the clavicles went
Yeah.
small again. So see if you can keep that expanded. Now remember, breath is important. Monitor. Yeah, good. So when you breathe, and you're going to see this on the video, as soon as you breathe, everything
Yeah.
collapses in, which is just a habit.
Sure.
Is it going to be fixed today? No.
Nope.
But we just want to be aware that we want to expand our clavicle this way and again
Mhm.
invite the sound more to us. Is that cool?
Yep.
How much do you hear when you're going through this? Do you hear a lot?
I'm hearing a lot.
Do you feel like you're hearing a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, how long have you taught for?
13 years?
Okay, good. So you're at that point now where it's like this is starting to make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel for me too. Like when we were rehearsing the Stravinsky octet, and I don't know how many times I've done that piece, I finally feel like I'm starting to actually hear all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think it comes with a lot of time, you know, and hopefully that'll just continue to get better, you know. My advice to you with listening is to check in and like go to different people as you go through the tune. Like don't always be listening to the oboes.
Mhm.
Like spend a little bit of time here and then come over here and then go over there
Sure.
and then go over here and like move your listening. It's like driving.
Mhm.
You know, if you never check the rearview mirror, you know, that's bad.
Mhm.
You know, we always want to be checking our mirrors. Well, we have a game in the car I play with my 8-year-old, and she wants to know about driving and how does driving work. So I've made up these rules. She goes, Dad, what's rule number 421? And I go, blinker. So when you use a blinker, we like make up rules about driving.
Mhm.
It buys time in the car. But one of the things we talked about the other day was using your mirrors. You know, it reminded me, I was like, yeah, I probably should look in the mirrors more often when I drive, you know? People around here are crazy. So just check in more often,
Sure.
you know, and listen. Doesn't mean your eyes have to, but your ears can be a little bit more directed.
May I say something real quick? Have y'all noticed that we tend to hear what we see? When you try at a crowded loud restaurant, look across the room where there's this cacophonous, and you look at somebody, you'll pick their voice out. That's a really important point that John just made.
Let's go. Here's the beginning. I've thrown a couple of things at you, so
Yeah, that's great.
stay tall. Don't collapse in me. Monitor. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna something else for you. There's lots of good things. I'm gonna just keep saying things, then you
Sure.
go back and watch it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
write
yeah.
all the notes later. So you have 3 hinges here to work with:
Mhm.
wrist, elbow, shoulder. Which one do we use the most?
I do a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Here,
let me
but-
be a
oh,
better teacher.
yeah.
Which one should we use the
Oh, we
most?
should do
Absolutely.
wrist, yeah.
It should be like 80% wrist,
Yeah.
15% elbow, 5% shoulder. Yours is always going all
Yeah.
the time. So see if
Yeah.
you can isolate, use more out here at the wrist would be good. Okay. Do you notice how you
I
collapse
did.
in?
I really
Yeah,
did.
good. So we just, as long as you're aware of it,
Yeah,
we've planted
yeah.
the foundation for
Sure.
you to be able to grow for that later.
Mhm.
Okay. Good. Is there another part of this movement you want to do while we have time?
Sure.
See if we can implement some of this stuff somewhere else.
Yeah.
You pick a
Let
spot.
me
We
do-
know this piece.
Yeah, 95.
Can we go 95? Do you have your measurements numbered? 95? Okay, good.
Yep.
See if you can do some of the things that we were just mentioning. Oh, hold on. Remember this is a breath. We have,
Yeah.
if you leave here with anything, it's that to breathe this way. And may I
Sure.
also, I'm going to pass along my breathing phrase to you,
Sure.
which I stole from Gail Williams
Mm-hmm.
at Northwestern,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Breathe with the phrase how to. Breathe in on how and out on to.
Okay.
So when you breathe this way, I'm going to take my mask off and you see it. That way, this always will expand.
Sure.
Just do that when you breathe. So always breathe how to. And then teach your students to do it, so when I come clinic your band, I don't have to. Yeah. Stay tall. Good. Why is that bar of rest in there? Do you know?
I don't know.
Give me an
It would
give me
be
an
a
option. What do you mean? What do you think?
Is it a written in caesura?
Technically, yes,
Yeah.
but why would Mozart write it?
I don't know.
Okay, Mozart was very familiar with rhetorical principles,
Mhm.
which I'm not going to get into because that will bore you to death, right? But he put that there because he's trying to tell a story, and he's getting
Okay.
you from here with a slight pause to reflect about it, and then something totally different
Sure.
happens next. So it's not just a caesura, it's a pause in the story. It's like a
Mhm.
breath in the phrase. So think about this as speech, and then boom, something new.
Makes sense.
So you have to change from here, and in that bar of rest, it's like we're all thinking for a second, and then it's something
Sure.
new. That was probably really loud on the
It
microphone.
was great.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it again. Yeah. Now, if you were telling this story and you were telling this to your kids, and it was
Mhm.
like let's say this is Halloween, it's something spooky, you know, like he's creeping or creeping.
Mm-hmm.
Kaboom! Something new happens.
Yep.
I would love to see you just explode
Sure.
with more energy here
Yep.
in time.
Yeah.
Right? We'll go that way. Okay, one more time, and then
Okay.
Peyton's gonna make me stop. Stay tall. Think about monitoring or influencing. Pick a hand, so they're all not doing the same thing. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. One more
Alright.
thing, because then Peyton's gonna make me
That's
stop.
all right.
Could you make your left hand more like, Beth, will
Mhm.
you dance with me?
Sure.
Like literally, every time you do it, I want you to think of your wife and go, dance with me,
Sure.
dance with me,
Mhm.
dance with me, every single time. That way, the left hand is more inviting. Good. But stay with Connor longer.
Yeah.
Like, Connor, dance with
Yep.
me. No, Connor, you're running away. I want you over here. Connor, this way.
Sure.
Just stay with him for a little bit, right? And that's how we're going to do that.
Sure.
That was a lot of stuff, man. Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much for being here. I
Thanks.
really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks for making the trip down. Thanks, Andy.
You are changing instrumentation, right?
Say again.
You are
Yes.
adding.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're switching players.
I
a
was
little
like,
bit.
this
I'm
is
so
gonna
glad
be
you guys
all
came. Thanks so much.
Oh, thanks for having us.
I'm sorry that. Funny, I'm sorry we had to go twice. Usually we would go once in the
Well,
morning and once in the
yeah, but
afternoon.
no,
but
it totally makes
with
sense.
COVID, we just can't do it.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're all making
We're trying.
concessions all the time, every day.
I'm
So,
not kidding. We really didn't think this was going to happen.
well, we were so
Because I would
surprised.
tell everybody, but like these three people had COVID 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I called the university yesterday. I was like, "Are you sure they can go?"
Right on
Yes.
the past
They're
window.
all fine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I totally get it. It's. Yeah, we were surprised it was happening. So we're very grateful. So. No worries.
How are you, Beth?
Good. How are you?
And you're doing Schubert third movement?
Yes. Now don't take my music away. I don't
Okay, that's great. I won't take it away. How are you starting it? How many beats you give them?
I'm gonna give a silent one and then a big. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna give a what is that called? It's called not a fake beat, but a dead beat. I'm giving a dead beat.
Yeah,
and then
I like that. I've gotten to the point where I almost give a ready, go.
yeah,
You
I
know?
feel like sometimes in one, like when people have to start it on 3, they're a little nervous,
Yeah.
especially with a new conductor. So I'm gonna give the
Absolutely.
extra dead.
And the other thing is, the longer I do this, the more I realize it helps, especially younger players, it helps them time their breath.
Well, for sure.
You know what I mean?
All of a sudden,
it helps
otherwise
them
it's just boom. Okay, hope you were ready.
I know. And you can do that with pros, but with kids, especially kids, it's like it just helps them time their breath.
Sure.
We're waiting on our oboes to
I
come from
see.
downstairs. They're from upstairs, so
Sounds good.
that was the other thing is we usually would do this with the full band, so they're all sitting here,
That makes sense.
but now we're all rotating.
That's funny. I was just like, where is everybody going to be sitting when
Yeah.
I practice this at home? So I was like, well,
Yeah, you know,
it's a crapshoot. We'll
I
just
meant
do
to
it
send
when
you
you get here.
like a seating chart of where everybody will be. So,
Oh, it's good.
so I'll introduce some of our new players that are here. This is Ashley. Ashley's a master's student in horn. She's back today. Over here we have Lauren Dickey, freshman clarinet. You already know Bailey. This is Cheryl. Sophomore now? You're a junior? It's going too fast. You're growing up so quickly. This is Cheryl, then Jessica Baird on flute. So can we welcome our new folks to the group?
Yeah. Glad you're here.
Oh,
Thank you for
somebody else sat down. This is Alyssa. Alyssa's a senior in oboe. She's from Springfield. And then we have Julian, who's another master's student in oboe from Eastlake. Who's coming?
I'll go ahead and introduce myself while we're waiting. Save some time. I'm Beth Malavance. I live in Chicago. I'm one of the very few people in here that is not actually a band director right now. I work for the Salvation Army's Music and Creative Arts Ministries Department. And the bulk of the conducting that I do, which isn't a ton, is all with brass bands. So here we go. So this should be great. So just so you know, that's sort of my background. So
You
This
live
is
in
Julian.
Chicago now?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, great. I don't like
Alyssa, can we
know
take
the
a
name, just go. So is his school in Chicago, or are you guys doing like a marriage across the miles?
No, we're both in Chicago.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, Chicago, the greater Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? Neither one of us work in or live in Chicago. It's the boroughs, right? So. So we're doing the Schubert third movement. I'm sure you all know that, but just in case.
Hey, Matt, since this is the first time we've done, let's just start that again, okay?
Yes, thank you.
And Beth, if I might make a suggestion. I move around a lot, and I'm probably screwing up some of y'all's recordings. I know I'm supposed to be closer to the mic. Feel like you're joining something already in progress rather than starting something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's almost like, and then you join it.
Sure.
I got the feeling she was starting something rather than joining something that was already in motion. Go again, really feel it moving, and then just join it, Beth. Okay, one more thing. Okay, hang on. Ensemble and players. You need to take more personal responsibility for your playing. As if Beth goes, ready, go, and then walks away and listens. You have to own these parts. You're not playing for her. You can play, everything's in you that can play this by yourselves. Own these parts. And don't sit there like you're made out of wood. Move, conduct each other. Be aware of each other's breath. It's chamber music. All right? You should be able to do it without her. All right?
Okay.
Go again and own it a little bit more. And This is the hardest thing in the world to say to somebody when it's all back asswards, all right? In a real world, the focus is on the music making. In a conducting workshop, it's on you. And so it's all backwards, right? Just relax. It's just a little tense. They can feel it.
My
Just
bad.
relax.
There we go.
Here, just do me a favor. You ready, everybody? Ready? Great. I remember, if we weren't in a pandemic, I remember one time I was coaching doctoral students at Eastman, and they got up and they hadn't quite figured out that the players could do it without him. And I just wrapped my arms around the guy, bear hugged him from the back, so his arms were pinned to his side, and the playing got better. I whispered in his ear, humbling, ain't it? All right? So you can just relax and just let it play. I just could sense that tension, white knuckle kind of thing. Why? Because we're all staring at her.
I don't feel tense, but I'll try to
Okay?
take it out.
Good. Go again. Just relax.
Okay.
Okay. Agreed, it's all better. Conductors create two kinds of space and time. We create actual space for events to happen. We can create the illusion of time. When there are a lot of black notes, like 6 per bar, I'll tend to not so much conduct larger, but I'll give them a bigger target. I'll slow down my hands a little bit and create the illusion that they have more time to play all those black notes than they think they do. So it doesn't go, but it's not rushing that much. But you know what I mean? What we're doing is we're like an accordion. Those 6 notes per bar are like an accordion. They're getting compressed. And once notes are compressed, we can either wait or we can go on, which eventually gets us a little ahead, and it makes it sound frantic. So if it's like an accordion, we spread those beats out a little bit. So just relax, create the illusion that they've got more time to play them than you think. You're rebounding a little quick. Now the other thing is, Beth, how many beats are in a measure?
3.
Well, I mean, you're showing 1 beat per bar,
Okay,
right?
1.
1 beat per bar. How many beats per phrase?
How many beats per phrase? Yeah,
How
well,
many beats per
it kind of
phrase?
changes, but 4 or 8, depending
Yeah.
on the phrase.
So everybody has their own way of saying conduct the macro or the micro. I think it's more important to show the organization of the phrase than it is to show the organization of the bar. So I'd probably go, out of 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4, out of 1 lolly. Now that does 2 things. Number 1, it allows you to show the organization of the music rather than the organization of the bar. That's number 1. Once you start to show the phrases, you can show the larger structures as well. When I was a kid right out of college and I got my first job at Emory University, Robert Shaw was still alive and well and was a distinguished professor at Emory. He was still conducting the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, of course, the famous Robert Shaw chorale dude, right? I'll never forget Robert Shaw telling me, he says, great conductors have to teach form and analysis. You have to teach the form of the piece. He goes, you better be a good teacher because the audience gets 1 shot. So all of a sudden, I thought a lot about that in my lessons with him, and I thought, okay, it's more important to show the phrase, then I can begin to show the structure. So that's number 1, it does. It allows you to start to show the ensemble, the organization of the piece, and eventually the audience. Number 2, if you think of this being the time plane, this being the expressive plane, when we hang Christmas ornaments on a tree, we don't hang it on the trunk, we hang it on the branches. The minute you can get horizontal, whether you're doing that figure 8 laid on its side or a 4 pattern, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2. It allows you to start to be more expressive. It's hard to be expressive going up and down. It's hard to hang ornaments on a pole, which is why pole dancers are so highly paid. They can hang on a vertical structure. The rest of us hang on horizontal planes. All right? Go again and get horizontal. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, okay.
Just relax and breathe. One lolly, two. Okay, now, if I take your vertical conducting and I smash it,
Yep.
and when it gets smashed, it does like a cream-filled donut. It spreads out this way.
Okay.
It's already better. Okay, now, might I make a suggestion? The same one I made to your husband. Stand in front of the ensemble. Put your feet about shoulder width apart. Get yourself. The old-fashioned 19th century orchestra conductors talked about getting grounded. When you're like this, you're a little bit weebles wobble, but they sometimes fall down. When you're like this, you're more grounded. That allows you to step forward, step back, step back. Follow what I'm saying? But when you're like this, that's hard. Especially, then we find ourselves swaying in the breeze. Yeah, just like that. And they don't necessarily have to be, I'm not talking about nailing your feet to the ground, but you know what I mean? Go again. Doesn't it seem more relaxed now? The time seems more relaxed and I can feel the breath. All right? Do that. Now, John, I don't know what you call it here, and Brad, but I was talking to her while you were out of the room about conducting the macro, showing the phrase more than the bar. Now, some people don't like that. Some people do. I'll always remember, Robert Shaw could never remember my name, always called me young man, dear boy. He'd say, teach form, show them the phrasing, show them the structure. Okay, go again, we'll go for a while, all right? One last little thing, it's just, because you're good, I'm being really picky. Your prep beats aren't in the style that you're conducting once the music starts to happen. Make everything in the same, always be in character, like that Daniel Day-Lewis illustration I said earlier. From the moment your butt leaves your seat to walk up here, you're in character of this third movement. Watch this, you're going. And then you get fluid.
Yeah.
I want you to be smooth right from the beginning.
I was just doing what I practiced. I got it.
That's better.
Awesome. Can you start from the beginning, and can you count 1, 2, 3 with her? Here we go. You conduct the piece, and they're just going to count 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Keep going. Oh, so now you're way more fluid than you were before. If you go back and watch that, I wanted by pointing at the microphone.
Oh.
Go back and watch that.
Okay.
You'll notice it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And he said this one time actually to me on the phone. He said you have to create space inside the beat so the players can have breath, or the other way around, something like that. But the point is the even flow of time has to be really important.
Okay.
And you're collapsing time, and so it's really hard for them to fit in all the eighth notes. So when you're going through this, make sure that you are nonstop subdividing, and maybe you are, but 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the
I think
three,
what I'm struggling with is I want them to go faster, the whole thing, and I'm not doing a good job. So I think that's why I feel like I need to keep pushing them.
Okay, may I drive for a second?
Yes, please do,
Can I?
because
Okay.
I don't know what I'm
You
doing
don't mind?
wrong.
Okay,
Not
put
at
your
all.
put your left hand away. Here we go.
I'll put my left
Yeah,
hand
put it away.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need it. Here, let go. I'll drive.
Okay.
Perfect. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, I'm playing with them like
Yeah,
crazy.
you are.
Okay, which is okay. And you see their eyes are like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
Right. So we don't want to play with them too much. But I'm going to drive again. But I'm going to show you if I try to collapse time, and I'm going to try to do this the wrong way and the right way and see what happens.
Okay.
Beginning again. 1, 2.
See, everybody,
Do you you feel
The
how different
beat's
that
hitting
feels?
at the right
If you
time.
feel all 3 beats
But
inside there
when
and
you
give it more
change
space,
the
it'll work.
speed
If you want to
of
go
the
faster,
stick
get
and your
smaller.
arm,
Okay.
it creates
This is
the
an
illusion
old-fashioned
that the
trick.
time
You
of
wanna
the
get
piece
faster,
is
get
changing.
smaller. If you want to get slower,
You know, the
get
speed
bigger.
of the piece is changing.
But if you keep the even flow of time the same, the 8th notes will be more consistent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, cool.
Where do you want me to go?
Really, really good point. How are we doing? A minute?
Okay.
There's a rule that we all break. Sometimes the same day we learn it. And that rule is you don't want to stop the stick. You also want to be careful. I said to somebody, watch about changing the speed of the hands when you change direction. I forget who it was. Somebody was changing direction. I said, you're accelerating your hands. When we stop the stick, it's almost like playing catch and turning the lights on and off. We assume that the piece is continuing at the same speed, but when we stop the stick and then accelerate to be on time, or we accelerate and then slow down to give the thing, it almost doesn't matter when the light flashes. It's too late. Do you ever try and take a picture of lightning at night? It flashes, you hit the button, and you get a picture of black sky. The preparation, letting people know when the beat's going to occur more than showing the beat. And that was what John was saying in different words. The ictus was coming down, but because you were changing the speed, we didn't feel it. I just think if you just spread it, think of an accordion.
Why don't you do it again, Beth? Try to go the speed you want to go.
Okay.
And hear it.
Sorry, that's the other thing. Gosh, you're going to see this on tape too. You prep, you go, "Hurrah!" instead of big, long breath.
Okay.
Breathe longer. Is that smoother for you? It definitely is. Does that feel different to you?
I mean, yeah.
Because it does look
It
different.
feels completely different than how I started.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. May I offer one other suggestion? Sorry, this is a technical thing.
Sure.
When you set up, will you take your left hand and put it across your body like this? Like all the way across? Take your funny bone of your right elbow and set it on your index finger. That's how far your arm should be out away from your body. Your arm tends to sit back here, which allows you not to move this way.
Okay.
It's like T-Rex arms. So I found if you just set this, and this works for everybody. Like if you have, you know,
Yeah, it feels
you can set this here and here, and it's the perfect amount of space between your body this way.
Okay.
That's just a super small and known
Cool.
technical thing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brad.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Beth, while you're walking back, but the next person will be coming out. Tempo is such a subjective thing. You know what I mean? Feeling, it's like feeling it a little quick, feeling a little relaxed.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about tempo maybe later on in the day.
Sounds good.
And I'll give you a really cool video to watch about tempo.
Awesome. Thank
Okay?
you.
Hello, I am Andrew Maddox, and I am the band director at Tipton Junior High and High School in Tipton, Missouri. And we are going to do the second movement of the Schubert.
All right, good. I'm gonna stop you right there. I promise we're gonna do more. On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you?
11.
Perfect. I love that.
I am.
That's great. And you're not nervous because, well, I don't think, because you're afraid to fail. You're nervous because you just want to do a good job,
Yes.
right? And that's great because I know you're prepared, so nerves are good. I'm nervous all the time. Every time I walk into wind ensemble rehearsal, I'm nervous. I may not show it, but I'm nervous because it's like we have a plan, we want to execute it, we hope everybody's there. There's a lot of things that happen, but it's not nerves because you're scared, it's nerves because you just want to do a good job. That's totally fine, so get that out of the way. I guarantee you there is zero judgment coming from them, period. Absolutely zero. they would be scared to death to have to step up here and do what you're doing. Maybe. Some of you might. Josh might want to just jump up here and do it. He doesn't. See? He's like, no, I don't want, I'll just play horn. I'll just mess with my, pitch and stuff and deal with that. So don't worry about that part, okay? Let's deal with the beginning. Say hi to Lauren.
Hello.
Lauren's fantastic. She's a great person, great clarinet player. We're super excited she's here. She's terrific. She's also a good musician. Let her play the solo the way that she wants to play the solo. You're micromanaging her a little bit. And maybe that's what you're used to having to do at home. Don't worry about that so much. Get her started, and then I want you to listen to what's happening over here and just monitor what's happening over there. Okay? Here we go. Okay, hold on. That was a total fake out. It was like, hey, I've got $5 million in the... You're like, wait, where's the money? I don't know where it is. You went, and then just dropped it in somewhere else. Your prep and your downbeat have to be in time. Okay, try again. Freeze, don't move. Your arm is so stretched out this way. Yeah, bring it back in. Lower your wrist down a little bit. Great. Extend your clavicle bones so your shoulders are back a little ways. Good, put your head backwards. Not chin up. Chin up and head backwards is different. Good, you're much taller now. You and I are more the same height now. Great. Take your left hand and set it out this way. And in your mind, I want you to say, Lauren, dance with me. No, not dance with me. This isn't 6th grade. Right? Here. Bring it in a little bit. Gentle, gentle. Can you hold something very fragile in your left hand? Fragile. You know what fragile is, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hold something really hard in your left hand. Ah, good, fragile. Okay, good. Now you're going to look at Lauren. You're going to go dance with me, Lauren. Then we're going to start the beginning. Oh, yeah, but again, you remember this from 6th grade, right? You remember this at the Halloween dance, whatever you go to, right? If anybody touches my daughter ever, I'll kill him. But either of them, yeah. My son, you can have him. But, right? You need to be more welcoming and inviting. So we're going to see if we can get this to be more welcoming. I want you to take your right hand and pull it back towards you. Extend your left hand out very gently, fingers together, left thumb apart. Good. Here we go. Now get your ears over here. We keep listening to Lauren. Yeah, great. So what's really fun about this opening phrase is you're going to monitor and let her play. And here, I always ask them to have something more musical to say. So I would say, hey, Lauren, you just say something super musical. She does her thing, and I'm going to play with the harmony. I'm going to bathe in this over here, right? It's very expensive Bed Bath & Beyond bathing material. Yes, and so we want to bathe in this sound a little bit while we listen to that. Okay, try again. Remember, look at Lauren, say, dance with me, Lauren. Here we go. Listen over here. Use your torso more than you use your limbs. Lower your plane down a little bit. Down. Good, thank you. I want you to think of a moment in your life where you felt intense love. Like intense. You don't have to tell us what it is. I'm not going to be Delaney, I won't make you tell me. I want you to think about what that moment is, and you're going to recreate that visually right here. Let's go again. Not all the way extended. Remember, this is too far. Yeah, bring it back in this way. Okay, thanks. Why did you bring your left hand in to show her the next phrase? What was the point of that?
Just another helping hand, I guess.
Another helping hand, sure. So then do this. Don't let the left hand go away. Let the left hand monitor. If it stops moving, it's dead. If it's moving, it's monitoring. Even if it's not moving a lot. You could bring it in close to your torso here and let it monitor more this way, but then that way it's back in. Jack and I love baseball. What you just did is you threw the pitcher to the bullpen, and then you called in somebody else really quickly. And from the bullpen to the mound, unless it's Wrigley Field, it's usually a long way. That's what you did. You're like running from right field back into play again. Keep this in play. Monitor over here. and then use your eyes to go, but your hands are always in play. You were feeling different that time, which is nice. Okay, keep that feeling going as we go through this, okay? Invite Lauren to dance. Here we go. It's easy to move. Thank you. Good. We're going to try something else. We're going to play more games. Hold on a second. We're going to start at the beginning, and you are not allowed to move until you feel that chord right there. And then I want you to show us something that shows that you feel that chord. You don't just hear it, but you feel it. Okay, so no beats from here to here, but show something there. Okay? You guys just keep going. Don't stop. Yeah, no. You play the piece. You play the piece. Yeah. Stop being smart, Alex. Just play the piece. Show something really cool. Thank you. Do you feel that chord down here, or do you feel it up here?
Like more up here.
You do?
Yeah.
Really? Feel it down here.
All right.
Yeah, this needs to feel down in here. Where it's lower, and this is the power center of your body. So if you want a chord to feel big and dark and round, feel it more down this way. Okay? Now you can add your beats back in. There's my accent. Every now and then it just creeps in. Thought I got rid of it, but guess not. Let's go again in the beginning. Okay? See if you can pull the wrist this time through the beats. So let's recap real quick, okay? Because I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. Invite Lauren to dance. We're going to stay tall and use the breath. We're going to get our ears over here. We're going to feel harmony. We're going to taste it. It has to taste good, you know? The other night I made some mashed potatoes. And I was like, this is missing something. It was missing a lot. So you just keep adding spices in until you get what you want, you know? But it needs to taste right. Not just look and feel. It's got to taste right. I mean, those potatoes look like mashed potatoes. I taste them. Even my daughter's like, those are terrible. I was like, I know, sorry. So I tried something, kept adding stuff in until it worked, you know? So feel the chord a little bit, okay? And then pull the wrist through. There we go. We're doing great. Invite Lauren to play. Keep it moving. Wrist. And feel this chord. Low. Keep going. And monitor with the left hand. You have to double. Good, thanks. Next thing, you're moving a lot and a lot of it's mirrored. So we're going to try to get you out of that a little bit by doing what we were talking about with Andy a minute ago. See if you can monitor more with this hand, influence more with this hand, okay? Let's do something super basic for a second. I don't mean to be that this way. But how much resistance do you want in between beats through this opening phrase? Do you want it to be thick like you're pulling on an old Gumby toy, you know, where it's like stretchy, like a hard rubber band? Or do you want this to feel like just a feather moving through air?
Feather.
You do. You want it to be really, really light. You need to use as most wrist as possible. You're actually showing the opposite. If you use less wrist, it creates the illusion of more resistance. If you use more wrist, it creates the illusion of less resistance. May I go from the beginning?
Yes.
I'll show you. I want you to watch my baton. Beginning. So this is no resistance, right? Because it's very floaty. If I take out the wrist, now let's go back to none. Do you see the difference? Good. So you're showing no wrist, which is actually a lot of resistance, which means you have to move more horizontally. But you're telling me you want less resistance. So see if you can use the wrist more. Like make it look floppy, really floppy. You know those things that are outside tax? Yeah, those things. Whatever those are called. Those things. Okay. It's like pay your taxes. Okay. More wrist. More. Don't be afraid to take up space. More floppy. Make it look silly. There you go. All right, so that looks silly, right? But there's no resistance. Do you see how there's nothing in between the beats anymore? It all goes away. That proves a point that there has to be a little resistance at the beginning of this. No resistance is actually the incorrect answer, in my opinion. You want to have a little bit, right? But you want to pull from here like you're a puppet. Pull from here where the tip of the baton always stays on the vertical plane here, because yours is coming back like this, because I asked you to be silly, and you did it. Good for you. Pull here. Stay on the vertical plane. Make sure you are always painting on the canvas. Your paint was flying back there, right? Okay, let's go one more time beginning. So take out the wrist a little bit. Stay on the vertical plane. Invite Lauren to dance. Oh, freeze. Don't ever forget this. The wrist is a hinge. The fingers are creepy. This is a phone call to HR. This is conducting. Do we understand? There's a huge difference between the two. Some people teach that the fingers are a hinge and you can move them. I think this is creepy and awkward and weird. This is not, okay? You're using creepy fingers to manipulate. Once the baton's here, use the wrist. Okay? All right, thanks. Let's go one more time, beginning. Keep it moving. Breathe. All right, good. Yeah, that'll work. I want you to go back and watch this tape because I threw a lot of stuff at you, and I hope something sticks, right? I just threw a bunch of darts at the board. Nothing hit, right? But it will hit later if you go back and watch it.
All right.
Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Appreciate it.
Hello. My name is Erin Keaton Howard. I'm from St. Louis, but I've been in Seattle, Washington the last 7 or 8 years. I'm the director of bands at the Northwest School, and I conduct an adult community band at North Seattle College. We're going to do some more of this movement.
Good. How did you feel that went for you first? I just want to get your feedback first.
It felt pretty good. I have not stood in front of musicians since last March,
Man, isn't that amazing?
so that
Yeah,
was a
good
little
for you.
overwhelming.
Good for you. Can I tell you, I wish you would have, I wish I would have been in your band. I feel like you are a really fun person to play for. I feel like your students probably really enjoy being in your group. Like watching you move with them, they sound different playing for you. And that's why I say that. Like you can just hear them, they just sound different. It's just a different sound of a group. It's amazing how somebody else can get in front of them and they just sound different. So thank you for sharing with us, and thank you for letting us play for you, because it really is, that's special for everybody. You can tell that was a moment. Like that was a cool moment. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. If I asked you, what is your stimulus value? Stimulus being your message, and the value being the strength of the message. What is your stimulus value? How strong do you think it is right now?
I feel like I'm over-conducting a little bit.
I think so. So there's a lot of message, but maybe the strength of the message isn't quite enough. So like how do we move that forward a little bit? Would that be a fair assessment? Okay. I would encourage you to do this, and this is like one of my main philosophies of conducting, by the way, is that we focus less on transmitting knowledge and we focus more on creating dialogue. So it's less about us talking to them non-verbally, and it's more about getting them to talk to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so if we spend all of our time trying to transmit nonverbal language to the players, we don't ever allow them to just converse between themselves, right? And that is going to help you strengthen your message. Because when you can allow them to talk to each other, then when you have something to say, you don't have to yell over the top of them anymore. You can just go, boom, and start talking. You know what I'm saying? So moving between, I mentioned monitoring, influencing a lot today, but this is kind of that same sort of thing, okay? You pick any spot you want, I don't care. See if you can get them to create more dialogue, and then you, I'd say inject, but like inject yourself when it's appropriate.
Okay.
Or when you maybe want to increase your stimulus value.
Okay.
Okay?
What's your favorite part?
See, that's why she's great. She asked you. She's like, what's your favorite part? And Cheryl's like, I don't have one. Pick one, Cheryl.
$74. I like this part too. I see why you picked it.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening here texturally.
There's this like lilting thing in the clarinets, and this is more melismatic.
Yep. Those are great words. I'm going to simplify them for me because I'm not as smart as you are. So I hear the clarinets as being a motor,
Right.
and I hear this as just being melody, which is what you use, but you had a much more fancy way to describe it. This motor doesn't need you,
Right.
right? So this is a moment where you can increase your stimulus value by actually not showing pulse and literally just standing there, which forces them to create dialogue amongst themselves. Because our goal is to get everyone to listen to the motor. And if you are showing motor, they're not going to listen to it, they're going to watch you. So we're not creating dialogue, we're still transmitting knowledge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, good, let's try it again.
I'm just going to do the pickup to the next measure. So right on your pickup.
Good. So you're still showing time over here.
No time?
No time.
Okay.
Like literally take your baton and like turn it so it's pointing downwards and just stand there. Yeah, just stand there like this. Not like that. You're gonna stab somebody. Ah! Yeah, just kind of hold it, well, you know, just hold it like this and just let them play for a second.
Okay.
Good. Okay, good. So how does that sound, first of all?
I liked it.
I do too. Yeah, because clearly they're listening more. They really are listening more. And it's oddly, but they sound more confident, actually, when we're not manipulating the motor and letting the motor just sort of drive the thing, and letting that happen. And she gets to play. How does that feel for you?
It felt good. It felt like they were taking more ownership of it.
Wait.
So they were like, I have to not mess up because I'm in charge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we're all becoming leaders in the group, right? And we're making that happen. That's really, really nice. Okay, pick another spot. Let's see if we can do something similar to this in another spot. Let's do K, where it's bigger.
Yeah.
Let's go K. Letter K, my friends, please. Oh, can I say one more thing? Sorry. A couple of people have done this today, so I just want to get this out of the way right now so I don't have to embarrass anyone. Try never to use the word I when you are giving an instruction. I would like you to do this, not that you did that. We've had a couple people do that, like, I would like to start at this number. When my TAs do that on the podium, I literally yell in this room, nobody cares what you want. And they're like, oh yeah, sorry. Could we please start at letter K? And then everybody goes, yes. Just take the word I out of your vocabulary in rehearsal pedagogy and use the word we. Ask questions instead of tell people where to go. This is hard to do, I mean, I have 3 small kids. I talk about them a lot. Do I do that with them? No. Josh, you will do this now. Like, okay, I literally told him the other day, if you're not going to listen, just say, Dad, I'm not listening. I don't care what you're saying. I mean, literally, it's like those of you who have kids, like, like this is how it goes. But it's, we want to try to create a collaborative environment in here. So I just want, not that you're doing that, but I just need to mention that before we move on. Okay, here we go. Letter K, please. It's easy to move. Thank you. Good. Is this a climactic moment of this piece? This
Yeah.
movement?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you make it feel that way? By make it easier to move.
Yes.
It's easy to move.
Yep.
Good. Now, where's the motor right now? The offbeats.
Horns.
Yeah, and the horns.
Yeah.
So they're the driving motor over there for you, right? It's keeping this thing moving forward.
Yeah.
Everything else is just beautiful. It's like lead, even though it's piano music, right? It just feels like a song. Set this in motion. Make it easy to move. Let go of time a little bit. Let the horns carry the time for you. And you're probably saying, like, I can't do this with my group at home, right? And I get that. I can't do that all the time here either. Like, let them control tempo. We try as much as we can. We like to, do you ever do scrambled band?
Yeah.
Like we haven't done that, obviously, because of COVID. We can't do that anymore. But we always do that once a cycle. We did short ride in a fast machine, scramble band. Total disaster. But it gets everybody listening in a totally different way. And then we played it at CBD&A, and it was hot. It was hot. Hot. But that's what everybody could listen, and they understood what was going on. So see if you can let go of the time a little bit and create more dialogue.
Okay.
Easy to move. Let's get a better start. Try a how-to breath. Let's really try to let go of time here.
Okay.
Let's really, really try.
Uh-huh.
They don't need you for time. See if you can find other ways so you can taste and feel harmony a little bit differently. Again, back to the beginning, I'm going to cycle all the way back, trying to increase your stimulus value. Here we go, same spot, K. Yeah, okay, good. Now the hard thing is when you don't get beats and then you show something out of time, it's really bad.
Yeah.
You know, so that's hard, and that's hard to do. We're just having a little conductor playtime. So I would encourage you to, again, see if you can strengthen your stimulus value
Okay.
by trying to get out of so much giving beats and getting the players to find the motor, and then you just influencing where you can create more dialogue. Because remember, those people that speak the loudest often have the least to say.
Yeah.
Think about that. Those who speak the loudest often have the least to say. Being still and resonating with anything in life, as you know, oftentimes elicits a much better response from us. And the older we are, I know I look 12, but this isn't my first rodeo, the better we can give to create that dialogue. So thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. That was a pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, who's up next? Oh, the break time. And then we're heading over there. Fantastic. So we'll see you guys back.